Hey guys, welcome back to another build video. So on Tuesday, the climax mission dropped for Year 6 Season 3, and it comes with the Master difficulty. And in this video, I'm going to show you the two variations of a Heartbreaker build that I used to clear this mission solo. It's going to have decent damage and tons of survivability that's going to allow you to basically run straight through most of this mission. So with that, let's take a look at this build. Alright, so for this build, I'm not going to go into super detail of the build itself, because if you're playing solo master, I'm going to assume you know how a lot of this stuff works anyway. So I'm more just going to show you my gear and show you the roles that I've got on them. So I'm going to be using 4 pieces of Heartbreaker. I've got the Chill Out mask and I've got the Memento backpack. So first, the Chill Out mask. This is going to give us plus 5% total armor. Got an armor roll, crit chance, and I have 2 protection from elites mods on here. Look at the backpack. I'm going to have the Memento. This is going to give us 3 cores, weapon damage, armor, and a skill tier. I've got a little bit of expertise in here, and I've got a 12% protection from elites mod on here. This is going to have the talent kill confirmed. And this is going to be super great for the bonus armor that we're going to be picking up. This, stacked with the bonus armor that you're going to be getting from the Heartbreaker gear set, is going to make it so you can pretty much just run around and do whatever you want. And then on top of that, we're going to get a little bit of extra weapon damage, and we're going to get 3% armor regen when we're at maximum stacks. Now let's look at our first piece of Heartbreaker, the chest. The 4-piece bonus is going to have Heartstopper. At 50 stacks, this is going to give us an additional 50% bonus armor and 55% weapon damage. And then I've got armor, crit chance, and a protection from elites mod on here. And this has the talent max BPM. This is going to increase our max stacks from 50 to 100, which is going to double our weapon damage and our bonus armor from this set. For the gloves, I have armor and crit chance, the holster, weapon damage, crit chance, and the knee pads, weapon damage, crit chance. For the skills, I'm using the Tactician Drone, which you're going to need the Specialization Sharpshooter to unlock. This is what's going to be pulsing enemies, allowing us to get the Heartbreaker stacks. For the mods, I have Duration, Scan Range, and Damage Reduction. And this Damage Reduction one doesn't really do anything, that's for something else. For the second skill, I'm using the Crusader Shield, because even though this build is super tanky, there are a lot of enemies. So if you find yourself taking too much fire, the Crusader Shield is just nice to have in your back pocket. So with this setup, my shield is tier 5, and I have 20 expertise in this because I use it all the time, so I put some expertise in here. And then I have an active regeneration mod, holstered regeneration mod, and then again this is for something else. This one doesn't do anything in this build. Now for my weapons, I'm using the St. Elmo's engine. This is going to have 28 expertise in it because this is my go-to gun. I use it all the time, so I've invested as much expertise in here as I can. This is going to have assault rifle damage, health damage, damage to targets out of cover, and it's going to have the talent Actum Est. This is going to give you shock rounds. Super nice for the CC, especially when you're fighting the hunters in this mission. For the secondary, you can use whatever you want, but I would recommend using a weapon that has a different ammo type than your primary, because there's so many enemies spawning on the map that there are times when you can run low on ammo. Especially in the final boss area, the ammo crate is not in the best place to go pick up ammo, so if you go and hide up in the high ground, you will run out of ammo if you're running 2 weapons of the same type. So for me, I'm using the Black Friday LMG. This has 10 expertise in it. This has LMG damage, damage to targets out of cover, and crit chance. And this has the talent Perfectly Unhinged. Grants 22% weapon damage at the cost of 25% stability and 25% accuracy. Now for the modifiers, I'm using Overdrive, Critical Momentum, Critical Recovery, and Microwave Coils. And if we come up and look at the stats, I've got 52.7% crit chance, 60% crit damage, 1.5 million armor, and 51% protection from elites. And the last thing is the specialization. I'm using Sharpshooter, mainly so I can use this Tactician drone, because this is how I'm going to be pulsing enemies. And then of course make sure you have the proper weapons selected down here. So a slight variation you can also use is this right here. I've used this to clear Solo Master as well, and the main difference is how we're going to be pulsing enemies. So instead of using Sharpshooter and the Tactician drone, I'm going to be using Technician and the linked laser pointer. So you can use any weapon that has a long underbarrel rail, but I'm going to be using the Lexington. So my Lexington has 10 expertise, assault rifle damage, health damage, and damage to targets out of cover. And then I rolled the talent Flatline on here. This is going to amplify weapon damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. So since the linked laser pointer pulses anything you aim at, anything you shoot at is going to be pulsed. So for the mods, I have crit chance, rounds, the linked laser pointer, and accuracy. And then on the secondary, everything is the same as before, except the underbarrel has the linked laser pointer. Now since we're not using the Tactician drone to pulse enemies, we have a skill slot open, so you can use whatever you want. I'm using the Reviver Hive. You don't really need the Reviver Hive because of how tanky we are, but since there's no respawns, it's just kind of nice to have as insurance. So the stats on this setup, it's going to have 42.7% crit chance, 45% crit damage, and then 1.5 million armor, same as before, 51% protection from elites, same as before. So for this one, the specialization is Technician, and you're going to want your gun selected here, and then you're going to have the rifle selected here because the linked laser pointer is locked behind the rifle. So that is the full build. It makes most of the mission pretty easy. You've got so much bonus armor and protection from elites that you can basically just run and gun your way through the entire mission. And you've got enough weapon damage that you can keep killing and keep getting those memento trophies and keep your bonus armor up all the time. So now let's talk about the hunters. So if you didn't know, you're going to be going up against hunters 4v1 in this mission. And I think no matter what build you use, it's not going to be easy, especially when they keep spamming disrupt at you. So there's two ways you can do it. Basically, you can play passively or you can play aggressively. I've tried it both ways, and if you play aggressively, you'll do a lot more damage since you'll have a lot of Heartbreaker stacks and Memento stacks, but you'll be trying to manage 4 hunters at once. And if you play it passively, you can try and coax 1 hunter out at a time so it's just one-on-one, but the slow play can make it hard to keep your Heartbreaker stacks, and you'll probably eventually drop your Memento stacks too. So either way, it's not easy to do the hunters 4v1, and you're going to have to decide how you want to play them. But anyways, that's the build, guys. Let me know what you think, and if you're not using this, what build are you going to be using to take on the Master Climax mission? Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
That's enough. We're done here. Disappointing, General. Very disappointing.
I'm sorry, Nat.